Hello everyone. Today we are going to deal with the poem The Tiger by William Blake. Before I start with the answer that you need to write if there is a question regarding the theme of the poem or summary of the poem or what this poem is all about, I'm going to give you a handmade proper notes. But before I proceed, I request you all, if you like my video, please like it and subscribe to my channel for more such content. I am going to upload like the content of MA English, British literature, as well as other subjects. And I have done a lot of effort in making these videos because I have gone through a lot of books and then I've prepared these notes and explanation. So I would really appreciate if you can like and subscribe to my channel. It gives me boost to do more hard work. Also, I want to clarify one thing, that since I have written handwritten notes in the introduction and then you see the typed material, but I tell you that I have typed the entire material myself. First of all, I made some handwritten notes and then I typed it all because I think my writing is not good enough, and not everyone can read it very nicely, so I thought that I should be typing it. So that's why I've called it my handwritten notes only, but I've typed them. Okay, moving to the answer. You can start your answer about tiger. The spelling of the tiger used by Blake is Tyger, so we will also use the same spelling. Okay, so before starting with the answer related to the poem, whatever question comes, you should at your master's level start your answer with the introduction about the author. So, introduction about the author William Blake, you can write like William Blake was born in Soho, London, and was a poet of romantic era of English literature. He was a visionary artist who criticized social evils like child labor and also wrote about creation, the nature, as well as about the creator, the God, in his poems. Elements of deep emotions and elements of nature can be seen in his poetry. After introducing about the author, introduce about the text. Writing introduction about the text is also very important because it is important from where the poem is being derived, from where the poem is being taken. The poem is being taken up from a collection of poems written by Blake, Songs of Experience. But we also need to mention about Songs of Innocence, another collection of poems by William Blake, because William Blake has written these two collections of poems to be read simultaneously, because we need to make the comparison between the tiger from the present poem and the poem The Lamb. So we need to make the comparison between the tiger and the lamb, and the poem The Lamb appears in the Songs of Innocence. So we need to introduce that there are two collections of poems written by Blake, which are the sources of this poem: Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. Blake wrote Songs of Innocence in 1789 and Songs of Experience in 1794. These two collections of poems are widely read pieces of literary genius. Blake, he wrote in regular meter, and the language of most of his poems is simple yet impressive. Songs of Innocence is a collection of 19 poems, and Songs of Experience is a collection of 26 poems. The poems in Songs of Innocence deals with innocent perception in pastoral harmony, and sometimes the knife appears to be in dangerous state and needs protection, whereas the poems in the Songs of Experience shows the perception derived through experience. Innocence is lost. There is conflict, there is energy and aggression. That is why many readers and critics say that these two versions are contradictory to one another. But Blake has himself said that the two are not contradictory but are parallel with each other, and hence they should be read side by side to understand both aspects or both perceptions simultaneously in coordination. Sometimes the question appears on this also, that do you think that we need to study the lamb and the tiger side by side or are they contradictory? So this is very important. Then, moving ahead to the composition of the poem is composed in six quatrains in rhymed couplets. While the meter is regular and rhythmic, the stanzas of the poem are uncomplicated and neat, which carry a string of questions, and all the questions articulate a single central idea about the creation of the tiger by the same God who created a lamb. The Tiger appears in Songs of Innocence, published in 1794, and The Lamb appears in the Songs of Innocence, published in 1789. So, first thing which we need to remember about this poem is there is a comparison between the tiger and the lamb. The lamb appears to be a very cute little animal who depicts angelic qualities and create a feeling of love and appreciation of beauty of nature of God's creation in Songs of Innocence. Whereas on the other hand, the tiger, as the spelling Tyger used by Blake, appears to be a very beautiful and wildly strong beast who creates a feeling of fear or terror in the hearts of the onlookers. Yes, we all know that when we look at a lamb, जो बहुत क्यूट सा क्रिएचर है, उसको देख के किसी को भी डर नहीं लगता, लेकिन जो टाइगर है वो डेफिनेटली बहुत इम्प्रेसिव लगता है, बहुत सुंदर होता है, बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर वो पास आ जाए तो सबको बहुत ज़्यादा डर भी लगता है. सो beauty is there in the tiger as well as fear is the element of fear is there in the tiger. Theme of invisible hand of God. This is the most important theme of the poem. इस पे separately question भी आ जाता है. But I suggest very clearly that जब आपको मास्टर्स लेवल पर अपना आंसर लिखना होता है तो इट्स अ लॉन्ग आंसर टाइप क्वेश्चन. यू शुड इंक्लूड ऑल द इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स अबाउट द पोएम. सो जो मैं आपको ये रेडीमेड बना कर दे रही हूँ, द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द ऑथर, द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द पोइट, देन अबाउट द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द टेक्स्ट एंड अबाउट द पोएम इन कंपैरिजन विद द अदर पोएम, इसी तरीके से इसी सीक्वेंस में अगर आप आंसर को अटेम्प्ट करते हैं तो किसी भी तरीके से अगर आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है तो आप ये सब कुछ इंक्लूड करते हैं, आई थिंक यू विल फेच गुड मार्क्स. दिस इज़ हाउ आई अटेम्प्ट माई आंसर्स ऑफ MA level exams, because you can't be writing just 1 or 2 pages because it's your MA level exam. The long answer needs to be long enough and sensible enough. So include all the important points and themes of the poem, right? So one of the most important theme of the poem is invisible hand of God in creating each and everything that exists. According to the poet, we can always see that the piece of art carries the mark of its creator. हमने हमेशा देखा है कि अगर हम कोई पेंटिंग देखते हैं उस पर पेंटर ने अपना साइन किया होता है, कोई भी पीस ऑफ आर्ट होता है उस पर उसके क्रिएटर का जो साइन होता है उसको हम देख सकते हैं. सेम वे सिमिलरली नेचर वुड ऑल्सो रिफ्लेक्ट द ट्रेसेस ऑफ इट्स मेकर, इट्स क्रिएटर, द गॉड. The fiercely violent tiger as well as the little cute harmless lamb both have been created by the same good God. The poem in the penultimate stanza, which is the next to the last stanza, just before it closes, tosses up an important question. Did he who make the lamb make thee? Here thee is the tiger, of course. Speaker broods over the instruments that the creator must have used, comparing the creator, the god, to a blacksmith. तो यहाँ पर आपको जो इम्पॉर्टेंट बात याद रखनी है, एक तो आप पोइम में से कुछ एग्जैक्ट लाइंस को कोट कीजिए. जो इम्पॉर्टेंट लाइंस हैं वो मैं आपको आंसर में कोट करके दे रही हूँ और आप उसको ज़रूर लिखिए आंसर में, क्योंकि ये इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स या जो आप प्रॉपर लाइंस को कोट करते हैं उससे आपका आंसर इम्प्रेसिव बनता है और डेफिनेटली आप उससे ज़्यादा मार्क्स फेच कर सकते हो, और मैं चाहती हूँ कि आपके ज़्यादा मार्क्स आएँ. सो प्लीज़ do remember these lines and these important points and write down in your answer. Okay, so यहाँ पर दो इम्पॉर्टेंट बातें आती है कि एक तो गॉड क्रिएट करता है सब कुछ, और ब्यूटी और द लैम्ब एज वेल एज द टाइगर दोनों ब्यूटीफुल हैं, दोनों अपनी अपनी जगह सुंदर हैं और दोनों ही गॉड ने क्रिएट किए हैं। हमें दिखे नहीं दिखे, देयर इज़ एन इनविजिबल हैंड ऑफ गॉड इन ईच एंड एवरीथिंग। और पॉइंट ने बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल कंपैरिजन किया है गॉड और ब्लैक स्मिथ का, कि वो ब्रूड ओवर कर रहा है, थिंक कर रहा है अबाउट द पॉसिबिलिटीज़ कि किसने बनाया होगा। सेम गुड गॉड ने इतना सुंदर लैम्ब और इतना सुंदर टाइगर दोनों ही क्या सेम क्रिएटर ने क्रिएट किए होंगे। और उनको जो गॉड है उनको पॉइंट ने एक ब्लैक स्मिथ से कंपेयर किया है। ये पॉइंट भी आपने इसमें ज़रूर ऐड करना है। Then comes the beauty of the tiger versus element of fear which the tiger generates. Very important. The tiger is an animal which is on one hand strikingly beautiful and on the other hand fiercely violent and scary. The speaker in the poem thereby begins with a curious question as to who could have created a creature like the tiger. As the lines appear, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? He then wonders what kind of divine force would be behind such a creation. In each subsequent stanza stretches the question further. The words fearful symmetry used here reflects the elements of beauty as well as fear in the same creature. Then there is deep meaning as well as a moral lesson in the poem. In fact, there are two moral lessons in the poem. First one is there are elements of beauty as well as fear. When we look at a tiger, it depends on our own perception how we look at it. If we focus on the positive side, we see beauty. But if we focus on the negative side, we experience fear at the sight of the tiger. The second moral lesson which we get from the poem is there is good as well as bad in each and every creature created by God. One can be an angel or a devil. Elements of beauty as well as fear are hidden inside all the creatures made by God. Then you have to write about the biblical references in the poem. We can see biblical references in almost all the works of William Blake. The comparison between the lamb made by the god and the tiger made by the same god who created the lamb is itself in itself suggest about the use of biblical references in the poem. Every being, just like a tiger, has both angelic beauty as well as wildness, violence and fear of a devil. It depends upon the creature which side one wants to put forward. It also depends upon the observer which side the observer wants to see and focus upon. That's all from my side for this poem. I hope you have understood it well and you will write your answer nicely in your exam. All the best for your exam. Thank you.